What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Command Your Confidence. I'm here with the Black Spider guy. How's it going, buddy?
Hey man, what's up, bro? Thank you for having me on the show, man. I
Yeah, you're
appreciate it.
very welcome, man. I caught you. I seen you on a few of Offbeat streams and everything, and I like. I first saw you with the Spider-Man mask. I'm like, that's like a freaking kick-ass like kind of way to go out and do your do your channel with, and so it made me sit out and I just kind of heard some of the stuff your perspectives on things. So I was just like, man, when I think it was like the Christmas Day show, I saw you on there for a bit.
Yes,
I,
yes.
I gotta have this guy on. So, so tell me a bit about yourself and what it is you talk about.
Well, I'm Black Spider Guy Vice, your friendly neighborhood spider guy, just trying to help men, against the tyranny of what's going on in the world, be aware of the BS and keep everybody kind of grounded. I like
Mm,
to come at the quote unquote red pill or manosphere topics through maybe a more comedic, cinematic way of trying to get at the information because everybody kind of has their own way of doing this. My way, I feel personally, is being goofy and creating skits and doing memes. So that's my way of doing it.
mhm.
I've been doing it for about a year and a half now, and I just been rebranding, been growing, and I just love doing it, man.
Right. No, I had to check. I had a chance to, I checked out some of your reels that you post on Instagram. That I like that. Yeah, I do. I know what you're saying by like adding like the sense of humor and stuff to your content. Like you do kind of you tell the truth, but you do it in a funny way. You're not angry when you talk about it. You do it in a more comedic way and
Oh
everything.
yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
basically what I'm trying to achieve. Because some people have their direct way of trying to say it, like, "Hey, man, don't do this." Some guys have their more, professor way of doing it. Well, hey, here's this. Don't do this. And I felt like the space didn't really have anybody that was doing it similar to how I was doing it. So to carve a space out for myself, this is what I tried to do.
right. No, I hear you, bud. So yeah, let's go back into the topic here. So today I want to talk about like let's both talk about our perspectives to like dating in 2022 for guys and what that's going to be like because I think we both we both kind of gone down this path of self development because we probably wanted to work in our dating. So we me kind of like I have that that awareness about what dating is like. We have multiple perspectives like that. So I'd like to give you your take on that to start out the conversation with.
Just so what's going on with dating as far as 2020 this year, sorry.
Yeah, or what I mean, what is it looking like? The way things are headed in the world and stuff with that. Because
Well,
there's a
def
lot of perspectives. Like dating's like I know dating's like not the way it used to be, which is true. I do agree with you that, especially it's harder for guys these days to
mm,
meet girls because like they don't. I just think they're not as masculine as they don't have the confidence in themselves and stuff like that. And plus, like I don't know, in today's sexual marketplace, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's very competitive too, and the girls seem to be very picky.
right. No, well, there's definitely been a dynamic shift when it comes to men and women. Men have become more feminine. Females have taken on this more, I'm going to be strong, independent on my own, don't need a man kind of mindset. And this has basically made men have to kind of go back and redo everything again. Um, you know, as far as what's going on this year and moving into the future, definitely seeing a lot more of just dating, casual dating. No one's really doing long term. I'm seeing a lot more polygamous stuff going on, people sharing girlfriends or sharing boyfriends. Even though
Mm-hmm.
personally, I don't think that's very healthy because there's still jealousy. The internet has definitely made it much easier for women to target the top 20 to 30%, which is leaving a big amount of men who don't make a certain amount of money or have the certain look that females are looking for to kind of be pushed to the wayside, which is creating a lot of resentment towards women.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the manosphere in itself started because of this push for women to kind of be the man, and men instinctively want to be leaders, and I stand firm on that. But females are basically telling men, don't be leaders, we can be leaders too. But see, the thing is when you tell men to not be the leader and men say, okay, I'm not going to be the leader, girls still don't understand that instinctively they're looking for a leader, irregardless of what society is saying. So when girls get with these feminine men, they're like, oh, this man is this too feminine, he's a bitch, whatever, I can't find a real man. When in all actuality, it's not that they can't find a real man, it's that they've become the man. You know, they have become the man that they would date, right? A
Mm-hmm.
girl will say, "Oh, I've got a PhD. Oh, I'm making like 100K a year. I want a man to meet me at my level." And it's like that sounds like a man thing to say, number one. But number two, the things that you are working on and improving are things that aren't going to make you attractive to a man. Those are things that a man would then do to attract a woman. And
Mm-hmm.
women are wondering why they can't find, you know, tall, strong, dark, and handsome. And it's because tall, strong, dark, and handsome, he's not gay, so he's not going to date you because you are a man, but you know, but in female cloth, you know, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the dynamic has just been completely disheveled because guys will tell me, well, Spider Guy, what should I do? And I'll just tell guys, focus on yourself. Stop giving females attention. Girls get mad at that because they're like, oh, well, you know, that's kind of messed up. You guys got to blah, 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 all this noise. Because what they're not realizing is at the end of the day, you guys pushed men away, right? You said you didn't need us. And now all of a sudden you want us back. But men aren't just going to do that anymore, especially with all the crazy stuff I see on TikTok where it's like, use a man for his money. You know, a man is nothing but a wallet. Um, you know, just go on dates and get free food. I know a girl that she'll get a boyfriend on a holiday just to get free gifts and then will dump him or block his number the next day. You
Oh,
know,
really? That's like crazy.
yeah,
Well,
man.
you know what? I think a lot of that too, like, and these, I take it these are like cute girls on TikTok, right? I haven't seen the TikToks, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about. But I take it like, a lot of the guys who are just suckers because they don't see that. They just feel like, I think they kind of like lack the I think they feel like they've been groomed to like, feel like they have to like buy girls gifts and stuff, right? Wouldn't you say so? Or
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, just listen to the music that we listen to every day. Very much so focused on treating the woman as a goddess. I think Coldplay made a song called "You Are My Universe." You know, women are basically seen as these things that men have to literally almost kill themselves over for just to appease, to then get the potential chance to get this woman's
yeah.
favor. And you know, I told guys all the time, especially with the ones that are on TikTok. I know one guy said, "Well, there's women online talking about how men men should stand up and fight back." And you know, I'm like, okay, well, those are chameleons. You know, the girls out there, you know, basically trying to be what we are, but as females. But they'll say, well, what they're telling me still isn't working, man. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're asking a woman to teach you how to be a man. She can only teach you how to be a woman. So it's like, you know, you're getting the wrong information. You're getting the wrong information. You're trying to get the right information from the wrong source. And you,
Mm-hmm.
and you think that it's going to work because this is a woman, the thing you want, telling you what she wants. But girls have this backward speak kind of thing where they say one thing but actually want another. And it's just, I find that happening a lot.
Right. No, I hear you. Well, I definitely agree with you. Like, I do see that a lot in like the media, especially like, when you said like, they put that, how the guy should make sacrifices for the girls. It made me think of that one Bruno Mars song where it says, "I'll take a grenade for you."
Oh,
And,
yeah, yeah.
that's the first thing that came to mind. But no, like, and I agree too. Like growing up as a guy, like I got sucked into all that media stuff. I actually thought like, I was groomed into like believing that you had to take girls out on multiple dates, you had to
Mhm.
like be romantic towards them. I'd freaking like write poetry to a girl, recite a poem to a girl that I didn't even know too well, just to think that would impress her. That's how I thought back then. And I realized too, like, growing, as well, eventually, working with mentors and stuff, and then just kind of through experience, I realized you didn't need to have that. And just looking back at that, I look at my old self and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing?
No,
Because that,
yeah,
that
man.
was actually making me look bad. And like, I always used to feel like, I always used to think like, I had to do certain things to impress girls. And, right now I just have my own set of standards. If they don't buy, then it's just like, just, it's not going to work out. But before I used to like, for example, like first dates, I would go take girls out to dinner on first dates and stuff. And now,
Mhm.
now I don't do that like anymore. Like if a girl wants a meal, or say sometimes I've been on a date, and I mentioned this in previous shows, but I've been on a date, and a
Mhm.
girl like orders dinner, like, "Oh, did you have dinner? I'm gonna get something." And but I always say, you know, I have the balls to say, "Well, hey, you know, you put that. I got the drinks, but you can put the food on her bill." And you know, I never put food on the bed because they think they want some like free movie, you know, free food, and then like. Some, even on like these online apps, when I would suggest like a coffee or a drink, they're
Mhm.
like, "Well, I don't drink. Well, how about coffee? I don't do coffee." And then the third one, she's like, then she'll make the suggestion, "Well, let's do brunch." And I'm like, "No, that's not." I would reply, "Hey, I'm not one of those guys who takes a girl out to dinner on the first date. So if you want to do something else, you can call me up."
Facts, man.
But a
Facts.
lot of guys will fall for that stuff, though.
Well, yeah, man, that's because I say it like this, man. Men are trapped in the 1950s way of thinking, whereas women have evolved and adapted their dating strategy to the modern day. I know dudes will tell me, "Oh, you need to be a gentleman, you need to be kind to a woman." I'm like, "Well, where are you getting this information from?" And a lot of these guys are listening to, older dudes who haven't learned the new game, thinking that if you can nice your way into a woman, you can nice your way into a relationship. But I mean, at the end of the day, a man without fangs is useless. Personally, to me, I think so. Jordan Peterson said this himself. A man is not a man without his beast. And
Hmm.
and a lot of men are afraid to uh, push a girl away. Some guys don't want to have her say yes. So I don't want to tell her who I am because if I do, she's gonna think I'm creepy, bro. And it's like, okay, but she's gonna date you, so she's gonna find out what that is anyway. So you,
Right,
so
exactly.
you might as well be yourself. And guys go, but I want to get her, and if I, it's like, look, bro, if she can't handle who you are, then she's not the one. And a lot of guys are hung up on this. I'm gonna just be nice, pretend I'm this guy, and then slowly reveal. But it's like when you do that, you're gonna come off as creepy. You're gonna come off as fake, and the girl's gonna end up leaving you anyway because she didn't know what she was getting herself into. You know.
Right, exactly. That's why I'm authentic like that. And that's one thing I had a hard time too, because like, just in my old forms of dating, and I still see a lot of this go on today sometimes, like we would like I would be someone I'm not. I would not swear in front of a girl. I'd be afraid to swear in front of a girl for like thinking I'd be shunned for that.
Right.
I would also be afraid to go in for a kiss or be sexual on a first date.
Right.
'Cause I thought you had to go out on 3 dates before you can kiss someone. That's how I thought back in the day, man. But ever since I've been on this journey of self development since 2017, and slowly learned to break away from all that, and I was just like mind blown as to like what I was able to do, and just surprised at how I evolved. But like, and I still, I don't know. It's weird because sometimes I still know some people who still, some guys who are just like still that nice guy, and they put on a false persona. They got to go, spend a lot of money on the girls. And let me know what you think of this though. I mean, do you think because girls know they got a lot of other options where they know that they can get guys to buy them shit, and makes it tough for us confident guys to actually go out there and pursue them, you think?
Well, what's happening is the men that they want, the more dominant focused guy, they don't want to deal with a high performance male, but they want the high performance male's resources. And a woman can smell a high value man just based on how he acts and what he does.
Mhm.
So when a female is getting thousands of messages from betas, and she's getting messages from these betas, she'll use those men, but she won't allow them to sleep with her. She'll still
Mhm.
sleep with you. So I mean, I've had girls where they would hate my guts, but I'd still sleep with them. Whereas, they're getting money and attention from these other men. Like for example, I'll give you a better example. There's a girl that has a boyfriend right now who's talking
Mhm.
to me, and she's like this very dominant female, super feminist. But I don't really care about any of that, and I just tell her what's on my mind, how I feel. And she tells me more information about what's going on than I think she does to him. She'll even like take a picture of him and he's like, and she'll say, "Oh, he's washing the dishes for me," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, I guess." You know, like
Mhm.
women will respect a man who is consistently just being himself than a man that's trying to fit into her mold. Because a woman is looking to enter a kingdom, right? she's not trying to be the king per se. She's looking for a kingdom to then go into. And if you as a man are going to then, play the role of the queen or play the role as the jester and think you're going to also be able to be this king, it's like, it's not going to work, man. From day one, you got to say, this is what I want. This is what I do. This is who I am. You don't
Mm-hmm.
like that? Okay, whatever. Sure, in the beginning, she might be shunned away from you, but she'll come back because they do come back. I've had that happen multiple times. They'll try to turn a weaker man into a stronger man. It doesn't work, and then they get a taste of you again, and they come back.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that
Right.
happen a lot because at the end of the day, a girl's whole overall dating strategy is to find a man that makes her feel safe, find a man that gives her that financial and mental stability. And the man that's going to do that most often than not is the one that's going to be upfront with her. I know girls have told me that they feel safer with me because I'm upfront than they are with the guy that's just like, oh, I'll buy you pizza, because they can feel that he's like hiding something
Mm-hmm.
versus the guy that says, I want to fuck. It's like, oh, this guy is just telling me what it is. They respect that more than the guy that hides it. And I learned
Mm-hmm.
that. And I learned that like, I think, was it like 4 years ago, and that changed my life. So,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of guys need to embrace being a male. Don't be afraid to have her run away.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself and embrace some of that negativity. Because at the end of the day, girls like drama and negativity anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot
So,
of guys don't
so you're
understand.
saying, so you're saying though, since like you've learned to be more authentic and speak your truth, like you've seen a drastic change in your dating life then compared to
Oh,
how you.
wait, oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. I went from zero to like, I don't know, like in a year I got like, because I mean I'm always busy and I'm not really trying to focus on them, but in a year I got like what, 10 girls.
Hey, that's good, man. That's pretty good. No, that's good, man.
But I mean, again, that's me not even trying to really do that. Because again, I'm trying to work on my business and my body and, with
Mm-hmm.
school and my career. And my career is pretty time consuming. So, I'm not really trying for anything. But, 10 girls, especially after I changed, I just saw the changes, man. Night and day, night and day. When I was a nice guy, zero, zero every time. But,
Mm-hmm.
but when I switched up, I changed, developed, immediately saw females giving me numbers, me being able to retain. I mean, I'm talking to two doctors right now, and
Oh
so
wow.
it's just, you know, it's working.
Right.
It's
No, that's good. No, one thing I don't know, when I've noticed, when I'm busy doing a lot of stuff too, and that's just
right.
not a priority as it was before. So I know what you're talking about when you're focusing on yourself and stuff. Like it's just not a priority, and like it's just come to the point right now where I just don't bother people who are just going to waste my time. I just kind of I'm really blunt,
No, yeah,
So
it's good. That's good. A lot of I told dudes like, if you're not blocking or getting rid of as many women as you're trying to go after, then I think there's something wrong. A lot of guys always trying to get numbers, always trying to get numbers. But are you saying no to any women? Have you turned a woman away? Have you said no, I'm good to any women lately?
hmm
A lot of guys can't say that. A lot of guys say, no, what do you mean say no to a girl? What do you mean? What do you mean? So no, did you maintain your frame? Did you hold your standards? Or did you just say whatever? You know,
hmm
a lot of women I know that don't like me still respect me.
hmm
And it's like, well, why is that? Because I'm very consistent and I'm just myself. And I can say not right now, or I can say no. But the
hmm
male, the male that's desperate to get that female in his life is going to have a much harder time than the one that's
hmm
willing to forego females and kind of just ground himself and then only allow the ones that are worthy into his kingdom.
Right. No, getting back onto the topic though, do you see like, this trend continuing to, where guys are just gonna like have a hard time being authentic and stuff and be nice to girls in 2022, and you see that, and then they're just gonna be taken advantage of, and you're gonna see, situations where girls who are already in relations with guys who are kind of more feminine, like go at, kind of hook up with the masculine guy on the side. Do you see that continuing?
I see that. Yeah, I definitely see that continuing. I mean, definitely with the new generation and what they're trying to do with the males who are becoming even more feminine. Girls at the end of the day, internally are seeking a male that can make them feel safe, secure, and stable. And that's not just like society, that's internalized biological behavior. So,
Mm-hmm.
as society continues to push men to be more feminine and weaker, that does not change the fact that female biology still seeks a certain set of male qualities. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's probably going to see is a lot of those women, feminists or whatnot, they're going to eventually find a man who's maybe red pill, who's maybe, got a lot of money, kind of an a-hole. She'll befriend these nice guys. She'll befriend these guys that act like girlfriends. But at the end of the day, a woman is not going to want to be with a man she can't respect or revere or have
Mm-hmm.
some kind of fear. Because I know one girl said she needs a man that she's kind of afraid of because she needs to know that he can protect her. But she also wants a man that can be a little open, but not so open that he's like a woman or a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And they want that. And a lot of guys, because they're listening to these females over and over say, toxic masculinity is toxic. Being this way is toxic. This is bad. And they're like, oh, okay, I don't want women to not like me, so I'm gonna be not toxic male. They've become feminized. But then they say, why can't I get the girl?
Mm-hmm.
When they should have just said, I'm a toxic masculine male. Cool. All right. And
Yeah, right.
just keep it moving. She's gonna be more attracted to that guy than the guy that just keeps going along with
Mm-hmm.
everything. And
So
that's
why do you think a lot of guys fall for that, like that stuff that they hear and stuff?
because I think
Is
it's
it,
because men don't get female energy like females get male energy on average. Men don't get the female attention the way a woman can get the male attention. A lot of men haven't even hugged a woman, let alone gone on a date or kissed or slept in a bed. Some dudes have never even smelt a woman. So when a
mm-hmm.
woman is quick to give them any kind of attention, any kind of energy, and they're attractive, they immediately dive in because it's like a starving child getting a four-course meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my God, look at all this food. I'm starving. Same to a dude who's never gotten any kind of attention from a woman. All of a sudden, he sees a girl online. He dives in. She goes, thank you. And now he's like amazed because somehow he feels chosen. And then he keeps simping and he buys her gifts and money because now he's getting something he never got before. And women are aware of this. And that's how they're pimping out men for money and resources. It's
Mm-hmm.
sad. It's a cycle.
Right. Do you think like a lot of men too just lack the confidence to like kind of when the woman to like have that realization, maybe they have that realization that they're being taken advantage of, but they lack the confidence, or you think they're just unaware that they're being taken advantage
I think some men, I know some dudes that are very aware, but they're okay with it because they think that that's just the man's job. I know one dude said, "Well, it's my job as a man to help my woman," and it's like they're basically taking their instinctive desire to protect a woman, fused with what women are protesting online, combining it together, and then using that as an excuse to kind of be a simp, right? Oh well,
of. Hmm.
she's a woman and she deserves to be treated this way. Men are bad. I'm gonna be the man that can be her shining knight. All that BS, right? And
Hmm.
and the women, because they understand that men are at the end of the day trying to please them and protect them, they can smell that kind of energy. They go, "Oh, thank you so much," in that cute little voice they do to get away from danger. And the man immediately smells submissive energy. He goes in, he gives her more money. Oh, well,
Hmm.
it's my job to do it, dear. And it's like, bro, you're being easily manipulated by her giving you a little bit of submissive energy just so that she can keep milking you of your resources and your time while
Hmm.
she's being banged out by the dude who does not care.
Hmm.
And
Do you
that's just
think
how it works.
Do you think some guys too that you think another reason behind that too is they put a lot of their focus on the women, their woman, the lady, instead of themselves? Like a lot of guys just don't have anything except they make the woman like the primary focus of the life, their life. Because I notice that can be a problem sometimes too. Like I have friends like they'll just like disappear and stuff. Like if they like meet a girl and stuff, or like they just like totally place a woman on a pedestal as if it's the best thing and only thing
Well,
you got in
I
the
mean,
life.
you've got guys basically jumping from one girl's kingdom to another girl's kingdom. Guys working jobs they don't even want just so that they can fund females' lifestyles. You got, because again, the male design is to protect the female, and a lot of guys, because they're alone, they're desperate, they cling on to this instinctive impulse to take care of the woman, and they literally do everything they can. I know dudes are in the gym solely to get a woman. They're working this awesome business just to attract a woman, and that's really sour because at the end of the day, even a wealthy man can be a simp. Even a very fit man can be a simp. If your reason for doing things is solely to please versus increasing your value for yourself, you are going to be used because that's what girls do. That's the shit test, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to see if they can easily manipulate you. And if they cannot, they deem you worthy. If you can be easily manipulated without any sexual exchange, they are willing to do that. It's why girls love friends, right? A male friend is a boyfriend without sex. They can use
Mm-hmm.
you for money. They can use you for your time. They can cry on your shoulder, but they don't have to give you anything that they wouldn't give somebody else. Is why I tell guys don't be friends with girls you want to sleep with, but guys will play that game because again, they're thirsty.
It's funny you mentioned that because I know someone around here, like, and I know she has a lot of like guy friends. She's a personal friend of mine. I actually went out with her on a dating app, like when I first came out here. I just kind of like after a while, like, it didn't go anywhere because I was still living with my ex at the time, and I don't know, I shouldn't have said anything. But anyways, but we just ended up being friends, and I probably see her like maybe once a year and stuff. But she'll tell me the stories because she has a lot of guys, she at first she used to want to get me to do a lot of stuff like, can you watch my dogs, can you help me move this? I'm like, no,
Right.
I do my own thing. But I noticed like she'd be like, okay, well, let's call this other guy, and so they call this other guy, or she'd be friends with this other guy, and then like she was telling me a couple times, she goes on some vacations with some guys, and she gets all grossed out because the guy's trying to sleep with her
Mm-hmm.
because the guy was like thinking, oh, well, maybe like I'll go on this vacation just me, and she's gonna want to be with me.
Yeah, man. A lot of guys fall for that trap. Again, they think that they can buy themselves into a female's heart, and that's just not how it works. You
Hmm.
can be wealthy, but you can still be a simp. And if a female knows that you don't have the standard to say no, then she doesn't see you as a man that's strong because a strong man will say no. A strong man will have boundaries and standards, and a female can smell that. Oh wow, he said no. What's he doing? What? Whoa, he's saying leave me alone. Something there must be something else about him that would make him not want to be with me. There's a chase, right? A
Hmm.
relationship always works best when a man is chasing his dream and then a woman is chasing him, right? When
Hmm.
the man is chasing the woman, right? The woman isn't in the relationship to be chased, right? She's supposed to be the support role. She's not supposed to be the item of gold that the man is going to bow before. A woman is looking for a protector, not a mouse, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of guys can be mighty mouse and still just be drained of their resources, and it's just sad to see.
Hmm. No, that's true. I think a lot of guys fall victim to that too. And like, I know some guys who spend a lot of money, their resources, especially money, and I think time's a valuable resource too.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
I mean, I realize that now because with all the stuff I got going on. So this is why I told you when I told you earlier, I can't afford to waste time. I just have to be just very like straight to the point. And I mean, that's where authenticity helps you out. It kind of screens weeds the winners from the losers, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call them. But yeah, like me, I value my time and I value my money. I don't, like I said, I don't want to, I don't. I mean, I don't mind going taking someone out to dinner or something. But that's like later on. Yeah, I don't
Right.
do it like a first date. I'd rather get to know the person first. See if there's connection, be intimate with that person, and then yeah, we can consider that. You know what I'm saying? But the other people guys who will spend all this money. I had
Mhm.
some guy came up to me like this. I don't know because he knows I have this channel and stuff, and he said to me like, I thought it was so weird. It's like, I mean, he makes a lot of money more than I do, and he's like, so how can I get women to sleep with me with my money? And I just like, you don't need money, man. You think your mindset and confidence. I wanted to say just go buy a prostitute if that's
Right, right, right. No, exactly. So for some dudes, it would just be cheaper to buy a prostitute than it would be to have an actual girlfriend. Again, a lot of dudes chase money, but they don't focus on who they are as they become that man with the money.
yeah.
You can throw dollar bills all day long, but if a woman can drain you of money, you're just a simp with money. You know, a man can be a man even if he's homeless, you know? So it's just like you, it's I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but guys equate money to value and think that's how they're going to get a woman because that's what women say they want.
Mhm.
And a lot of men listen to that and they only focus on that, but they're not
But we also
realizing.
hear that from, our parents too, get a good job, get money, get married. So like I think that also does it, I think I don't know,
Well,
do you think guys are groomed into that too? Like, so that they feel like they gotta have money. I don't know, like my dad, like even though he didn't press it much on me, but he pressed it on my uncle sometimes. He's
right,
like, You're never gonna date anyone. You don't have money." But my uncle was like kind of like had a lot of money saved up. His house was all paid off for. But my dad's like, "Well, you can't get a girl like that because you don't have money." My dad was one who made a lot of money,
right.
but yeah, he was in crappy marriages.
Well, the thing is, bro, it's the past trying to aid the future, but the problem is that the future is different from the past. So you've got people from like, like my parents, 1960s mindset, go get a degree, you'll get a good job, you'll live a good life. But that doesn't work in the 21st century because the rules are changed, the laws are changed. So, the reason why a lot of guys are roped into that is because the past said, well, if a man has a lot of money and a good house and he's stable, he can get a good wife to take care of his kids. And it's like, yeah, that's the white picket fence and the
Mm-hmm.
and
Get a
the
nice newscaster and announce like voice personation. The man
they
is stable. He can go do that. It really sounded like true 1950s, man.
facts, man. But the thing
Mhm.
is that at the end of the day, it's the 21st century. And you've got women making songs saying broke boys don't deserve no pussy and I drain him for his cash. And it's like, well, okay, so if women are draining men for money, making videos on how to literally game men for money, the one thing you should never tell a woman you have is money.
Mhm. And a lot of guys will do that, right?
Yeah, they're like, well, I'm worth 5 million. Great. Now she knows how she can manipulate you, bro. She's gonna ask you to show her off and ask her to buy the like, but when you have money, but don't tell them you have money, but you're able to game their mind.
Mhm.
Now, as you live your life with them, the money will become a bonus, which will
Mhm.
aid in your being dominant versus that being the only thing you've got, right?
Mhm.
A lot of guys are dominant only because that's all they've got is money. It's almost like a girl. All she's got is her body, no personality. It's the same thing. Guy has money, but no personality. You're gonna
Mhm.
get used, and then just like the girl, I'm a single mom. Why doesn't any man want me? Same with the dude with lots of money. I'm very rich, but I can't have a good wife. It's like, well, yeah, because you have nothing up here.
Mhm. You think guys tend to like when it comes to like another thing that some that like men get in trouble too is they tend to focus more on the attractiveness and therefore like they're blinded by the personality of the person that the woman that they're meeting. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? They get blinded by their like the attractiveness of the woman and just fucking her and then
no,
like
no, 100%. I mean, I love big titties, and that's a distraction. But the thing is I've learned to, like, when I'm in the gym, I'll look at a girl who's got a fat ass or big titties, and I'll look at her, and I'll literally tell myself, that's a distraction. Focus. I do that every time. Anytime I see a woman that's very attractive, I take a minute to pause, accept that I see that, and then completely shut it off, and then focus on what I'm doing. I call it, controlling the lust, taming the lust within the beast. A lot of men allow their beast to manipulate their choices. And I mean, it is what it is. We're men. We're designed to
yeah,
suppress our
right. No, that's
beast.
true.
And there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a woman. But the thing is we live in the 21st century, right? We can't just go out and just get something like that. We have to be in control. And a man that's disciplined is a lot better in the 21st century than a man that is not.
Hmm. So discipline is another important thing too. Just having self control over his emotions and everything.
100%.
Not be distracted by females and or just focus, be able to focus on what he is. And he can focus on going out there and yeah,
Right,
getting women, yeah, but don't let that overpower him.
right. Basically, a man should be his best friend. You should be your own best friend. You should be the
Mhm.
king of your castle. After all, you wake yourself up, you brush your teeth, you feed you. You are your best friend. And your best friend should look out for you, right? So you need to look out for you. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by going to the gym, disciplining your emotions, A lot of men out here are kind of lost because they've been taught how to express like a woman, not express like a man. There is a very big difference in how we utilize our emotions. A man should be disciplined in his emotions, whereas a woman is more of expressive. Girls nowadays say they want men to be more intellectually expressive with their emotions, but what they're
Mm-hmm.
not understanding is the burden of masculinity is real. The burden of masculinity is a big deal. And
Mm-hmm.
me emoting like a female is not going to allow me to deal with the burden of masculinity in the right capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of men don't seem to understand that. They think that, okay, well, we're all the same. And it's like, no matter how many times you try to emulate them, you are going to be perceived as a man. That is what's going to happen. And with that comes expectations. With
Mm-hmm.
that comes how society is going to see and treat you and utilize you. That's just how it is, not just on a rule basis, but on just a biological human basis.
Mm-hmm.
And men need to be aware of that. That's why I tell dudes, stop asking women how to teach you how to be emotionally aware. Ask a man. Ask a man to teach you how to discipline your emotions so that way you can get this money, focus on your body, and then when a woman comes into your life, be the king you need to be, not just
Mm-hmm.
for her, but for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men don't understand that, you know.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, it's just because they like I said, they don't know who they are, and I think again that they just have a lot of guys have that one track mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think that's what blinds them. I think I was like that at first, but I realized like no, there's more to life and like knowing who I am, doing something that I need to get done for myself than just
Mhm.
just having the focus on women. And I think it like once you could do that, it just makes the game or whatever you want to call it a lot easier. It makes I think it helps you just become how should I say it more you're able to go out there and talk to girls more, you're able to be yourself, be confident. Sure, like with any changes, you're going to have your setbacks and stuff, but still, you're going to just gonna be able to push forward and just say, "Hey, I can kick ass." And I think a lot of guys just have trouble with that these days.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's because society doesn't talk about it, and we are not allowed to have spaces because men having spaces is deemed as toxic or evil. A lot of
Mm,
men don't have other men that have lived and experienced life to really listen to and mentor them into being better men. So they kind of forced to just listen to whatever's out there. And sad to say, the female voice is louder than the male voice on the internet. So
mm,
men lean more towards them because they feel, well, if I listen to a woman, then maybe I'll be able to get a woman. But that's not how it works.
mm-hmm,
You need to ask other men how to do that because only a man can teach you how to get a woman as a man. A woman can only tell you what she sees men doing. She can't tell you how a man can then enact that through a male's gaze, through a male's experience.
mm-hmm,
And a lot of men seem to not really appreciate the male information. A lot of guys will listen to Afi, you, me. Oh, what you guys don't know anything, but it's like, okay, we don't know anything, but you'll listen to Barbie doll girl on freaking Instagram who's got 100 million followers who's saying, "Hey guys, treat your girlfriend to a $10,000 vacation." You listen to her, but you won't listen to a man that's trying to help you. It's very sad.
yeah. I bet you Barbie girl's like a super hot girl, right? And
Hmm.
that's what a hot girl says. So I feel like I got to do that, and so they're
Hmm.
just gonna go in there and fuck it up, and they're gonna feel their. I mean, some guys too, if they hear that, they're gonna feel they're not good enough to like, because they hear that and don't have sense of who they are. They're just gonna be like, "Oh
No,
man, are
yeah.
you serious? I got to
Well,
do this. Otherwise, damn, what if I can't do it?" And then that just keeps them from even trying to go out there and meet women.
and that's true, man. So, a lot of guys will look at the hottest girl and ask the hottest girl, "What do you need?" And maybe that guy's dream isn't to become a multimillionaire. Maybe that guy's dream is just to be a fisherman. Maybe that
Hmm.
guy's dream is just to be a logger. Maybe he just wants to skate. But then, he focuses on that female. He's like, you know what? I want to be a skater. I want to be a chef. But these hot women are telling me that if I want to get a woman, I got to do this thing I don't want to do. So a lot of these people that are working in these hospitals, working in these businesses, they don't even want to be there. They're just doing it because they want to get women.
Hmm.
I know one dude who literally works at Foot Lockers just so that he can put shoes on females. And I'm like, why? Like that's you've made your income solely based on women. versus what you might want to do to pursue a better life. It's just very sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men out there are thirsty because they don't have that female energy in their life. And I mean, I used to be like that too, so I
Yeah,
get it.
I've been there too, man. I know what you're talking about, man. I'm in Arizona right now, and I came out here for a girl I was in a relationship. But ended up benefiting me in the long run. Though. It was the best decision I ever made. But I
Like,
did make that choice and followed someone out there because I'm like, okay, cool. I saw this going somewhere.
mm.
Um, but no, it was the best thing that ever happened though. Like so, and then the girl tried to get back with me a couple years later, and then like when I told her I got my shit, I'm just too busy to talk to you, and I got other stuff going on. And I said I could talk to you. That's it. And she's like, no, goodbye. So now it's completely burnt that bridge, But eventually, like, yeah, it was weird. This girl actually moved like not too far from me too, just because she thought like I would want to go see her since she's closer, and I never did. 'Cause I was this guy, I moved on for that, and like, actually, like, I was being that kind of simp guy and just going out of my way and got frustrated when she was treating me like crap, and I did a lot, and I just didn't get disrespected. I just got a bunch of disrespect from her, and then like it was weird when after living together for 4 months, we're like, okay, she's like, oh, you know what, I'm not interested in you anymore. At first I panic, I'm like, what the fuck.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's weird too, because at the same time, when I was still with her, I was still like thinking, God, I'm finally out of my mom's place, man, and I see chicks around here, what am I doing? Like, just realized what was like,
Right.
and like it was like the best thing that ever happened though, like because like I would like after I lived, a year after, maybe not even a year after I was single, I just started working with mentors because I was like wanting to get ahead in this life, not just with the women, but with other stuff too.
Mhm.
And I think, that kind of pivoted that. And I built a lot of, since then. And I've had a lot of experience since then,
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad to hear that you turned a negative into a positive and made it so that your life got better from it. Not a lot of guys can do that, you know.
Right. Well, that's, you know what, there's this, it's weird. I read this one book called The Art of Happiness, and there's this like, and I mentioned this a couple times, but there's this one quote, the guy, the guy who wrote it was a Buddhist and everything, and he just talks about all the bad experiences. But then he says, out of all in anything, his quote here says, anything that can ever happen to me is the best thing that could ever happen. Because like even he was talking about when all the bad shit that happened in his life, a lot of good came out of it, and like he would have never have done this if this didn't happen.
Right.
So I do kind of believe in that concept.
No, I feel you, bro. No, 100%. I mean, I love reading a lot of Buddhist teachings and poems to really help me get through. But you're 100% right, man. A lot of us men, we take that negative and we harp on it, but it's important to be able to transform that into something more. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
definitely try to profess on my pages and what I do.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. I mean, that's why I started this channel too, because like I just wanted to share with guys. Like, at first I did it like a guide channel, then I just threw it all into a motivational thing, but it completely got thrown off. I'm like, I go back into just doing helping guys because I remember like the reason why I got started here is because like I wanted to share with I've been through this journey of self development as a guy, and I feel like I can share that with other guys and just bringing other people on who can share their stories on there. I think it's great.
Mm,
Just so we can just like make guys aware that it is possible to like have change and stuff in their lives.
facts. Facts, man. I'm glad that you did, bro. We need more men doing this. We need more men aware of this so that way we can start fighting against the BS. I think a lot of the reasons why the world is the way it is because men have become weaker. And if we all start taking the initiative, I feel we can make a giant wave that cascades, changing things. That's how the world was built anyway. Lots of men taking the initiative and then trying to change the world.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of guys will come across like our channels and stuff as they experience frustration in their life. I mean, I know that's one of the first things I did a lot, was watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and I Googled stuff, and this is where I found everyone, it was
Mm,
like one start. But I realized like you can watch all this stuff, but like the most important thing is act upon what what you hear and take into consideration and apply it to your life, because if you don't apply it to your life, then you're just going to be stuck. But I've learned too, like, even though change is not it was weird. I had some guy actually hit me up the other day for consultation and stuff. He was saying,
mm,
I need to, meet a girl, and I need to get married, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, man, and so then he asked me, well, but can I get this done in one session? And I was like, dude, I wish there was some magic pill, but it's probably. I mean, I could take a look at what you're doing and put you on a different path. Give you
Right.
different suggestions, see if that helps. But it's no one night's
No.
change. And I think even when you have changed, you're still constantly evolving. And I think every once in a while you get sucked back into your old thought patterns, which you kind of got to be aware of as well, because then how it is. Like, yeah, I know there can be certain things that trigger those thought patterns, and you just got to be aware to kind of like deal with that so you can just move forward.
No, 100%, man. This is something that doesn't happen over one night. It's something that happens over a continual amount of nights where you're constantly having to change bad behavior and slowly push yourself towards a different path. That's what
Hmm.
happened. It worked for me. It took me about 3 years, honestly, to really
Hmm.
get this way. But bro, I gotta go. I gotta start heading out.
Awesome, man. Same here. Yeah. Very quickly. Any sum it up very quickly? Any last words?
At the end of the day, guys, we need to, as men, focus on ourselves, work on our minds, our bodies, and also our financial standing. We need to become more stable in ourselves, figure out what kind of man you are first before you try to pursue any relationship or any job venture for that matter. We live this life one time. Make sure that you put your attention and energy into certain people and take it away from certain people. Don't be afraid to do that and always strive to be yourself.
I like that. And very quickly, I'll have to say, yeah, agree what you say. Like, go out there, take to action, learn to think and believe in yourself. And, don't believe what the media tells you, learn to be your own self. And if you're stuck, go work with a mentor who will help you get on the right path and everything. And I want to thank you very much, buddy, for coming on the show. I would like to do another show with you in the future. I like
Sweet,
our
dude.
conversation here. And very quickly, how can some of the viewers find you who may watch this video later? Where can they find you on your Instagram or
I'm
YouTube?
mainly on Instagram. Instagram's the best way to contact me if you want to be more personal. But I'm everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. Everything is Black Spider Guy Advice. There's no spaces. Again, Black Spider Guy Advice, all one word.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much, and I'll be in touch soon.
All right, man. Can't wait. Have a good
Rock
one.
on.